Your Excellency, our distinguished Head of State, our Honorable Prime Minister and members of Parliament, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Chancellor Bermudez, Chairman of Campus Council, Principal, distinguished colleagues, graduating class, our honorary graduates, members of our alumni family, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered in this moment of triumph to celebrate and congratulate our students who are graduating here today. They have been tested not only by their professors, but by a pandemic. And in their triumph in academic year 2020, they have risen above this COVID-19. They have been resilient, resourceful, and they have risen above all of the circumstances that they have encountered. I congratulate you with admiration as I invite the world to join with you today in this grand celebration of your success. We express gratitude to your supporters, your family, your friends, your governments, your donors, and your teachers. They have been the sponsors of your magnificence and your success. Your university also has another good cause to celebrate with you today. The Times Higher Education, the #1 ranking agency of universities in the world, have given us a triple first global ranking. We have been ranked the #1 university in the wider Caribbean from a field of over 150 fine universities. We have been ranked in the top 1% of the finest universities in Latin America and the Caribbean from a field of over 5,000 very fine universities. And we have been ranked in the top 1% of the finest universities in the world within our age cohort, the golden age universities, those between 50 and 100 years of age. But you, the graduating class, are doing so at a time in which the reputation of your university has never been higher. It is within this context that we also celebrate the excellence of our honorary graduates. We are supportive of their excellence, and we are honored to be associated with them today and forever. The future of your university is very bright indeed. We have excellent plans for the years ahead. We are confident as we are careful and yet courageous. But as you go out into the region and the wider world, be assured that your alma mater will be proudly standing with you. Blessings upon you, our beloved university, and our region.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago, viewers from the wider Caribbean and the world. Welcome to the 2020 virtual graduation ceremony for the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies. My name is Ainka Will, and it is my pleasure to be speaking to you from the lovely grounds at the Principal's Office, the UWI St. Augustine campus. The wonders of technology allow us to have a truly global experience, with some of our speakers zooming in from all over the Caribbean and your viewers looking on from all over the world. Today we honor the graduates of the Faculties of Food and Agriculture and Science and Technology. And I know that so many of you are eagerly awaiting the celebration of your family, friends, and loved ones. This year's ceremony is with a difference, a hybrid of sorts. You will see the St. Augustine campus in all its splendor. I trust that you'll be inspired by the words of University Chancellor Robert Bermudez, the honorary graduates, and the valedictorians, some of UWI St. Augustine's truly amazing students. There'll also be cultural presentations, including musical performances from many of the campus's talented artists. 2020 marks the 60th anniversary of the St. Augustine campus, and though it has been a challenging year, it is also a significant milestone for this institution. Think about it. The UWI St. Augustine has served the world by developing human capital for some 6 decades. That is quite the legacy. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Students, past and present, all faculty and staff, Caribbean society, and our international audience. This is the UWI St. Augustine 2020 graduation ceremony for the faculties of Food and Agriculture and Science and Technology. Enjoy.
Congratulations to the 2020 graduating class of the University of the West Indies. Today is the day that you've been working towards, and perhaps you've been dreaming about even before you actually began your classes. I want you to know that today is equally important to us as university administrators. Graduation, you see, is cherished as one of the most anticipated, exciting, and meticulously planned events on our annual university calendar. While this particular edition has required a reimagining of many of the traditional and most enjoyed highlights, we proudly commend you for your resilience in transitioning, and you have done remarkably well throughout this pandemic. Today is your day. Your degree is being conferred. This is your graduation. Relish the moment in the comfort and safety of your homes with your loved ones as one of the many positives. And as you celebrate today, I hope you make memories and project your Pelican pride to the whole world. I take this opportunity to salute the network of support that has stood behind you throughout your sojourn at the UWI, knowing very well that they take as much pride and perhaps even more pride in this milestone as well. Just as over the past 7 decades where generations of UWI Pelicans took flight, so too you, as members of the class of 2020, will take flight. You are especially entrusted to demonstrate the continued intellectual development of the region as the first post-COVID-19 generation of alumni. The university community is so very proud of you and is rooting for your success. Enjoy today and enjoy the journey ahead. Let the celebration begin.
Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Brian Copeland, honorary graduates, university executives and other members of staff, graduates, distinguished guests. Welcome to the 2020 virtual presentation of graduates of the University of the West Indies. I am Sharon Christopher, Chair of the Council of the UWI St. Augustine Campus. I have the honor of guiding you through these virtual proceedings. Today, we celebrate and congratulate our graduates across the region and the world. I now invite the Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez, to address you.
Vice Chancellor, members of the university leadership and colleagues, graduating class of 2020, greetings. This graduation ceremony is different from what we usually expect. While I deeply regret that our traditional ceremony of your academic accomplishments is not possible, this is a special event in your lives, and we are hoping to treat it with the significance and importance it deserves. There's a certain joy that you experience being able to share, being recognized by your fellow graduates, by the university community, and your families. The virtual world does not allow this. It does not allow me to salute each one of you individually. I hope that this message will convey my pride in your stellar accomplishments during a year of many challenges. My warmest congratulations to each one of you in the graduating class of 2020. In saluting you, I also pay tribute to your families and loved ones who supported you through these strange times. Your success is also their success, and I ask you to acknowledge and celebrate their love, support, and care. During the year that you completed your studies, the university adapted its teaching and learning approaches to deal with the public health challenge. The transition to emergency remote teaching was achieved through collaboration. Our technical teams, academic staff, and administrative teams worked together, coordinated by the leadership of the campuses and the university. As a whole, they ensured that teaching and learning and all the processes that supported you could continue. I thank them for their commitment, and I believe that your achievement is a validation of their tremendous effort. Over this year, we have seen some powerful countries in the world brought to a standstill by a virus. Economies have been devastated, industries severely impacted, and communities set back. Many lives have been lost, and life as we know it has changed. The pandemic has exposed the inequalities in our societies and the weaknesses in our economic systems. But it has also highlighted the work of our heroes and heroines, whose dedication to service may never have been recognized without it. This year, too, we've seen a resurgence in the Black Lives Matter movement, a phenomena that has transcended borders, social and economic differences, and ethnic groups. I am proud that many of our students participated in activities organized across the region. I believe that this clearly signals that activism is alive among our student body, and I urge you to keep that solidarity in the forefront of your consciousness as you go forward with your lives. Across the Caribbean, 2020 was a year when we celebrated our democracy. There have been free and fair elections in Bermuda, Jamaica, Suriname, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, and St. Kitts Nevis. We congratulate all of our brothers and sisters on this achievement. Our region stands as a proud beacon of democracy, and the University of the West Indies has played a pivotal role in its development. The responsibility now falls on your shoulders as the next graduating class to keep our democratic traditions strong and vibrant. Contributing countries and their governments are an integral part of this institution. They provide the funding and resources to maintain it. And some of you are beneficiaries of government scholarships. Your countries have demonstrated their confidence in you. And I encourage you to demonstrate your sense of responsibility through service to your country. You will be needed in the days and months ahead as the region builds its new reality. Our collective capacity to respond to global challenges begins with knowledge, creativity, and innovation. You are now part of that process going forward, and I urge you to become agents of change in your chosen fields and in your communities. Universities have a fundamental role to play in the creation and communication of knowledge. Universities are expected to advance informed and ethical action through the identification of challenges and opportunities for the societies in which they serve. There has been a call for universities globally to help shape the post-COVID world based on values that include democracy, human rights, social justice, inclusion, and equity. We have seen evidence of this in the response by our students, alumni, and faculty to the call for direct assistance to people in need through the provision of healthcare services, in research being conducted, and the remarkable transition to an online environment. I must commend the UWI COVID-19 Task Force for the sterling work that they have done and continue to do to help the region contain and respond to the pandemic. Notwithstanding these initial points of pride, there is still much to be done. I urge you to build on the civic spirit, the social solidarity, and the sharing of technical expertise that has already been demonstrated. Look towards the future, past COVID-19. Your graduating class is evidence that what has been achieved with care and collaboration, underpinned by the knowledge provided and encouraged by this academy. Extend this ethos into all that you do in the future. Be active and engaged citizens. Be engaged alumni. Contribute to the University of the West Indies in any way in which you are comfortable. Continue to pursue knowledge. Indulge your creativity and innovativeness. Build a better future for yourselves and for your communities. Your future is bright. Congratulations. We are met today in order that we may mark by a formal ceremony the entry of certain members into the company of graduates and the academic achievement of others. As a university, we are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors, and we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning. The purposes which are laid out in the preamble to the Royal Charter by which we have been granted the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. In pursuing these aims, our members advance from time to higher standing in the academic community, and it is proper that as a body we should celebrate their achievement. We do this by granting a degree or diploma or license or certificate, and we rejoice with our graduates in their advancement.
Chancellor, I now ask the public orator, Professor Christine Carrington, to present Professor Edgar Julian Duncan, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Chancellor, a reputation for good judgment, for fair dealing, for truth, and for rectitude is itself a fortune. By this measure, Emeritus Professor Edgar Julian Duncan is indeed a rich man, and the UWI is fortunate to have shared in this wealth. Born in St. Vincent in 1933, Duncan attended St. Vincent Boys Grammar School. By his own account, he was very indifferent and not considered one of the bright boys. Yet, in sixth form, he excelled in the sciences and literature and proceeded to a BSc in botany and zoology at the University College of the West Indies. Topping his class in 1960, he became the first recipient of the Sir James Irwin Memorial Scholarship, tenable at the University of St. Andrews, where he completed his PhD in fungal cytology and genetics in under 3 years. Duncan's thesis presented an insightful and elegant hypothesis about mechanisms of fungal nuclear division based on meticulously documented experimental observations. His propositions attracted the attention of world-famous geneticist Carl Lindegren, who described him as an unusually brilliant and original investigator, noting that there were thousands interested in the problem, which he had solved with the same equipment that was available to earlier workers. In 1963, when Professor Duncan joined the UWI as a lecturer in botany, only the willfully ignorant would have failed to recognize his worth. He rose through the ranks to professor, serving as warden of Milner Hall, now Freedom Hall, repeatedly as the head of department, and latterly as Deputy Dean for Postgraduate Studies and Research of the Faculty of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, now the Faculty of Sciences and Technology. His carefully prepared lectures, delivered without notes, persuaded students to think instead of just memorizing. They describe him as a font of knowledge, never boastful or self-promoting, always patient and humble, and punctual to a fault. In 1994, he received the Vice Chancellor's Award for Excellence in both teaching and administration. Professor Duncan's initial research at the UWI was mainly on flowering plant reproductive biology. In 1975, after receiving training on a German academic exchange service fellowship at Freie University, his focus expanded to include plant biotechnology and tissue culture, which he introduced to the St. Augustine campus. In 1980, an International Atomic Energy Agency fellowship facilitated updated training in Brazil. He introduced plant tissue culture as a research discipline, developed a tissue culture course, and established the Plant Biotechnology Laboratory. His department became the first semi-commercial plant biotechnology facility in CARICOM, supplying crops and ornamentals mass-produced through tissue culture to Caribbean farmers. His reputation as a scientist of the highest caliber is also evidenced by numerous publications and commissions for expert input from local, regional, and international agencies. As emeritus professor, he has remained active in teaching, research, and promotion of biotechnology, including preparing a draft National Biotechnology Strategy and Action Plan, and representing Trinidad and Tobago on the Board of Governors of the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. His pioneering contributions have attracted awards and accolades, including a Lifetime Achievement Award in Agriculture from Nehurst and naming among their Caribbean icons in science, technology, and innovation. Professor Duncan has served on the boards of the Institute of Marine Affairs, Kariri, the Asa Wright Nature Center, the Royal Victoria Institute, COSTAT, the University School, and Ishi's Learning Center, and was chair of the St. Augustine Girls High School PTA for several years. He is currently working on a comprehensive monograph on the botany of Trinidad and Tobago's national flower, and still finds time for furniture making and other exquisite woodworking. Chancellor, for his contributions to Caribbean science and agriculture and to the UWI, I present Emeritus Professor Edgar Julian Duncan and ask that by the authority vested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies, you confer on him the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and Council of the University of the West Indies, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa of the University of the West Indies.
I now invite Professor Emeritus Dr. Edgar Duncan to address the company.
Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Brian Copeland, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates. Before all else, I thank the person or persons who deemed me worthy of so great an honor and nominated me for this award. The relevant committee of the University of the West Indies for being of similar mind and bestowing it on me, and the public orator for her oration. I am deeply moved and greatly humbled. I thank Almighty God for strength and my wife and daughters for their love and support throughout the years. There is with the award a bonus in that this has given me the opportunity to do something I was unable to do on 2 previous occasions, standing on a stage at a graduation ceremony to receive the award of a degree. In January 1961, when I could have done so at the graduation ceremony held at the then University College of the West Indies on the Mona campus, Jamaica, I was in Scotland, having gone there on the 30th of September in the previous year. 3 years later, I could have done so at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, but I was in Trinidad, having arrived here on September the 30th, 1963, a few hours ahead of Madame Flora, not, however, with the destructive intent that was hers, but to take up an appointment in October as the sole botanist among the group of pioneers appointed to the newly instituted College of Arts and Sciences on this campus. This occasion is thus for me, in every sense of the word, a virtual first. Next, I extend congratulations to the graduating class of 2019-2020, wherever you are. I know that coming to the end of your journey here, you had of necessity to switch to a new form of instruction and study, occasioned by the pandemic pause to which, for our safety, we were all subjected. But you fought the good fight, completed the course, and are now about to reap your just rewards. My heartiest congratulations. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. Those are the words of the chorus of a song by Martha Keane, entitled Homeward Bound. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. Upon a time the world over, the career path taken by a young man or young woman was carefully charted by a parent or parents. The input of the person concerned was minimal, if any at all. You live in a day and age when, for the majority, if not all of you, the choice of career upon which you embark is yours. You've chosen the path that in your mind will give you the greatest satisfaction. The possibility exists that after a few years you might feel you'd chosen incorrectly. Fortunately, you live in a day and age in which it is not only easy, but sometimes necessary to change careers. Modern technology has rendered some skills performed by humans redundant, as these can now be performed by robots. You're now qualified in a specific area. There's a pitfall I advise you to avoid: the notion that having completed a degree course of study, you know it all. Learning is a lifelong endeavor. We who are older and started the journey earlier than you are just some distance ahead of you. For us, as for you, there's still a lot to be learnt, a lot to be discovered, new skills in which to become adept, and many problems relating to the islands in which we live to be solved. Although for some of us, among which number I include myself, the evening hour is fast approaching, the days are growing shorter, the shadows longer, there is still a lot we can do, a lot we need to learn, a lot we can discover, and a lot we can do in the few hours of sunshine still available to us. In this context, I invite you, in addition to the practice of your chosen career, to join us whenever time permits in a collaborative effort. The choice is yours. If you do so choose, taking the liberty to change the famous quote by Albert Camus slightly, I ask that in the exuberance of your youth, you run not ahead of us, for we might not follow, nor that you walk behind us, for we might not lead, but join us no longer in a tutor-tutee relationship, but in collaboration with each other. You were born in a different age from that in which we who are older were. You are natives of a digital world and speak a language that is different from that to which we are accustomed. We are immigrants to your land, and although many of our number have become reasonably competent in your language, many of us are not as digitally savvy as you are. On the other hand, if some of the verses in the book of Job, the writings of Oscar Wilde and such others are to be believed, by virtue of our greater age than yours, we are wiser than you are at this point in the time of your life. We complement each other, and as such, we need each other. Let us then, whenever we can, wherever we can, and in whatever way we may, together use the skills and information that we have acquired, many of us at the expense of so many of our fellow brothers and sisters who have not had the opportunity that we have had to better ourselves with study beyond the secondary level, to help them to enjoy a better quality of life than many of them currently do. The choice is yours. You are on the threshold of embarking on a journey that at some time in our lives we must all undertake. My yestercentury, your tomorrow. Figuratively, as you journey along, possibly thinking of how best in your career you can serve your country, what should you make of your life, you will come to a point at which the road on which you travel is intersected at right angles by another road. That point is the crossroads of decision. There you are offered 4 options. Each one leads to a specific destination at the end of one of the 4 arms of the intersection. The destination to which each one leads is clearly marked on a signpost. The sign pointing in the direction from which you started your journey states, education. Should you decide to begin at the highest rung of the ladder, about turn and retrace your footsteps to the place you left, or similar institution, you will spend your life engaged in a judicious mix of research and teaching. In the latter, helping youngsters such as you were a few years ago to develop certain skills, introducing them to information and concepts in such a manner that they are stimulated to read beyond the skeleton with which they have been presented, and upon which they, from their readings, put flesh. Of greatest importance, encouraging them to think outside the box, an attribute of need in our circumstances, where the expression, necessity is the mother of invention is not a cliche, but our reality. We need innovators. The sign pointing to your right is marked in the pursuit of riches. That needs no explanation. It offers, however, great possibilities for philanthropic endeavor. The sign pointing to your left is marked in the pursuit of power. Neither does that need an explanation. Those who are in power are there for a specific purpose, as pointed out by the Apostle Paul in his epistle to the Romans. Believing, I suppose, that all the decisions made by them are in our best interest, he urges us to obey them. An injunction of relevance in this current season of COVID-19. The sign that points straight ahead is marked in total service to humanity. The choice is yours. Nevertheless, I suggest that on arriving at that juncture, you pause for as long as it is necessary for you to read the signs carefully, to think about their offerings prayerfully, then having done so, to make your choice honestly. And whatever your choice be, may Almighty God in His mercy prosper your endeavors. The best of wishes to you all.
Nicole Whiteman is a final year student in the dance degree program at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. The work Resilience is choreographed by Andre Largent. Through the storms of life, we have persevered by keeping our eyes on Him.
When the world that I've been living in crumbles at my feet, when my life is all tattered and torn, I've been windswept, I've been battered, but I'll cling to the cross. He gives me peace in the midst of the storm. He gives me peace in the midst of the storm. He's my anchor, my rock. I can build my faith upon Jesus Christ. He's my refuge. In Him I can hide. He gives me peace in the midst of the storm. When the world that you've been living in crumbles at your feet, maybe 2020 has tattered your life and made it torn. You've been windswept, maybe you've been battered, but cling to the cross. God will give you peace in the midst of the storm. And one more thing, when I come to the end of life's journey, and all of my living seems but a moment, maybe my doctor might shake his head and look for a Lord Jesus Christ. He makes my bedside a cathedral of faith and love. He'll give you peace in the midst of every storm. Come on and sing with me. He'll give you peace in the midst of the storm.
Sir, the persons whose names will be called, having studied in the University of the West Indies, and having fulfilled the requirements of the University of the West Indies, beg leave to be presented to you and to the Senate of the University by the representative of their respective faculties as Bachelor of Science or holders of diplomas or certificates of the University of the West Indies. Sir, the Dean of Science and Technology, Dr. Brian Coburn.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society and confirm first degrees, diplomas and certificates of this university.
Shazia Abdul, Matthew Abraham, Dominique Absalom, with first-class honors, Tevin Achon, Janique Adams, Shalini Albert, Kayla Marie Alexander, with first-class honors, Salim Ali, Alicia Ali, Marissa Ali, Nikolai Alamani, Kadisha Ambris, with first-class honors, Antonia Andal, Lindsay Archibald, Rishi Arjun, Michelle Arindel, Terry Lee Ordain, Aaron Augustine, Callistra Augustine, Zera Aziz, Selena Babulal, Vikal Badri, Brandon Bahadur, Madhuri Bahadur Singh, Kirsten Baiju, Kobe Baird, with first-class honors, Jodi Baitun, Renee Baldeo Singh, Kern Balfour, Kimberly Balgobin, with first-class honors, Vishana Balkaran, Nadine Balak, Anna Maria Batiste, Akins Barclay. Sir, with first-class honors, Jaron Bipath, Roshan Biharilal, Keisha Ann Bell, with first-class honors, Siran Benjamin. Sir, with first-class honors, Cindy Bernard, Shanice Bernard, with first-class honors, Anthony Barath, Ritesh Bola, with first-class honors, Brittany Burju, Charisse Blackett, with first-class honors, Samantha Blank, Chantel Bobcombe, Crystal Boudram, Vanessa Boudram. Sir, with first class honors, Dana Buckmeyer, Kelsey Bayam, Celine Cameron, Crystal Cassie, Yahid Castillo, Alicia Cayenne, Jian Bin Sen, Aziza Charles. With first class honors, Jade Chattagoon. With first class honors, Celine Chetty, Shayna Chinfong, Chanel Christopher. With first class honors, Felicia Collins, Maya Cooper, Liddell Coraspi, Tiana Corey, Nicholas Critchlow, Matthew Cyrus, Akil Dacon, Habika Dacon, Shonika Daniel, Peaches Daniel, Anissa David, Tahira David. With first class honors, Mikal Davis, Toda Joy DeMatas, Takia Dennis, Aidan Deonarine. With first class honors, Vinita Danraj. With first class honors, Aliyah Duro, Shanil Dick. With first class honors, Bhavesh Digamba, Chadwick Douglas. With first class honors, Adana Edwards. Sir, with first class honors, Nicolette Edwards, Jada Edwards, Amy Joy Edwin, Michaela Edwin, Demalia Elborn, Terry Emmanuel, Gabrielle Farah. With first class honors, Hannah Felix, Peter Fevrier, Joanna Fiddler. With first class honors, Chevelle Figaro. Sir, with first class honors, Sadia Ford, Dion Fortune Brown, Amelise Francis Mohammed, Jabari Fuller, Celine Ganar, Sheena Gangadine. With first class honors, Kiara Garcia, Jessica Gay, Adrian George, Ramia George, Victoria Gould, Jeremy Gibbs, Liam Gilbert, Chanel Glasgow, Aaron Gonzalez, Rebecca Gonzalez, Ivana Gonzalez Ibrahim, Kimberly Gokul, Emilo Gopal, Shoshana Granger, Alicia Grant, Sheldon Gray, Amrita Gunnis, Adrian Hackett, Shanice Hackett, Marcus Hackshaw, Chantel Harewood, with first class honors, Anissa Haricharan, Ivana Harilal, Nalini Hiralal, Tyrese Harry O'Neill, with first class honors, Brian Hibbert, Zakira Hines, Andrew Holder, Gabriella Holder, Kenisha Holder, Samia Holland, with first class honors, Anika Hussain, with first class honors, Vishala Hussain, Amara Hussain, Shema Inverary, Shavern Jack, Ronald Jaglal, Jamie Jagmohan, Arti Jagru, with first class honors, Alyssa Jairam, Marissa James, Terrence James, Melissa Jitan Gazi, Natisha John, Nikita John, Shanice John, Nathifa Johnson, Zahida Johan, Ayesha Joseph, Lexi Kanhai, Akila Khan, Shalana Khan, Sharisa Khan, Shariz Khan, Ramona King, with first class honors, Julie Kun Kun, LaShawn Laborde, with first class honors, Hanan Lachman Singh, Christian Lalak Singh, Riandra Lalit, Joanne Lambert, Omari Lawrence, Winisha Legerie, Michelle Leotard, Odinga Logi, Nicolette Lokai, with first class honors, Steffi Maharaj, Manisha Maharaj, Marisha Maharaj, Shivana Maharaj, Stefana Mansingh, Samantha Maraj, Jose Marie Martin, Kristen Martin, Reese McBarnett, Maritza McIntosh. With first class honors, Jordan Medina, Joshua Melville, Ayesha Mervin, Sandy Miles Sweet, Leslie Ann Mills, Ansha Mitchell, Samuel Mitchell.
Sir, with first class honors, Kareem Mohammed. Sir, with first class honors, Riyad Mohammed. Sir, with first class honors, Sauda Mohammed. Bilqis Mohammed. Joash Mohammed. Leah Mohammed. Nabil Mohammed. Shabana Mohammed. Sadiqa Mohammed. Sir, with first class honors, Chanel Mondesir. Hima Munilal. Seema Munilal. Sir, with first class honors, Ariel Mutra. Nayoka Morris. Kairos Moses. Gabrielle Mutilal. Shanice Nanan. Kivana Nanton. Candice Narain. Nikolai Narain. Kolita Neshon. Bridget Namai. Sir, with first class honors, Christy Neptune. Janea Noriega. Tamara Naurang. Zoraya Ogunshe. Adrian Osmond. Chanel Pakira. Stephen Paltu. Karan Patram. Omadali Patrick. Donnell Paul. Charon Peniston Miller. Renice Perez. Chelsea Perrott. Evita Passad. Nikhil Passad. Sanjeev Passad. Sean Passad. Lerand Philip. Johanse Philip. Kitura Phillips. Allsworth Pear. Ivana Pear, Kelsey Pear. Sir, with first class honors, Danielle Pino, Nathaniel Pitilal, Tnay Pitt, Amrika Puran. Sir, with first class honors, Sharice Pragsing. Sir, with first class honors, Sarah Prince, Shaniska Ragbir, Salim Rahim, Mira Ram, Samantha Raman. Sir, with first class honors, Naomi Ramcharan. Sir, with first class honors, Mohit Ramdas. Sir, with first class honors, Navin Ramdas, Crystal Ramdawa, Tamara Ramdani. Sir, with first class honors, Emrit Ramharak Singh. Sir, with first class honors, Ariana Ramjatan, Justin Ramjatan, Venetia Ramjit, Sirala Ramjit Singh, Jaya Ramkisoon, Nadini Ramkisoon, Sonia Ramkisoon, Trishana Ramkisoon, Anan Ramkumar, Sharda Ramlal, Shanika Ramlochan. Sir, with first class honors, Akil Ramlogan, Nicola Ramlogan, Vinash Ramlogan. Sir, with first class honors, Shania Ramnarain, Karishma Ramnath, Padmani Ramuta, Brenda Rampasad, Liana Rampasad, Nilisha Rampasad, Tanya Rampasad, Yutha Rampasad. Sir, with first class honors, R.T. Ramroop, Sumir Ramsamaru, Alex Marie Ramsami, Padmini Ramsarup. Sir, with first class honors, Racine Ramsingh, Aidan Redhead, Shakana Renwick, Aaron Reyes, Sidoni Reyes, Terry Richardson, Azaria Rickson, Jonathan Riley, Tashana Roberts, Sarah Robinson Gibbs, Tanil Rodriguez, Ryan Rollock, Amrit Rupnarain, Vikash Rupnarain. Sir, with first class honors, Aisha Saban, Jyotsna Sahadu, Anandi Samlal, Vishad Samlal, Sasha Sami, Anli Sampath, Kishon Sandy, Kevon Sankar, Chelsea Marie Sankar Ali, Sir, with first class honours, Sanjay Santoki, Chiron Saunders, Keith Scanterbury, Stacey Ann Scott, Shay Seeley, Sharmila Sibaran, Katie Sicharan, Marino Sinath, Anisa Sipasad, Sarah Lee Suratan, Victoria Suratan, Sir, with first class honours, Gabriela Sudan, Sir, with first class honours, Mohammed Shadi, Antonio Singh, Delia Singh, Sasha Singh, Nicholas Sitahal, Sir, with first class honours, Dominic Smart, Sir, with first class honours, Abigail Solomon, John Sugrim, Shalini Suku, Charisma Sukram, Rebecca Sunachan, Kinola Spencer, Crystal Gay Stowe, Kim Stewart, Nadia Subansi, Justin Subaru, Hannah Sugrim, Darian Sundar Singh, Sir, with first class honours, Raphael Superville, Jared Sutton, Delara Taylor, Jamie Taylor, Sir, with first class honours, Rianne Thomas, Katia Thomas, Shanira Thomas, Quinton Thompson, Dashana Tulsi, Kimber Valentine, Sir, with first class honours, Charisse Victor, Daniela Weston, Kalisa Williams, Lenora Williams, Thema Williams, Salvation Yalams.
Sir, the Dean of Food and Agriculture, Professor Wayne Ganpat.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive, as graduate members of our society, these persons who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been awarded degree of Bachelor of Science or have been awarded diplomas or certificates of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society and confirm first degrees, diplomas, and certificates of this university.
Issa Abraham, Anola Alexander, Asha Alexis, Alyssa Ali, Ranella Ali. With first class honors, Richard Ali, Samantha Ali, Rehanna Archie. With first class honors, Brian Ashing, Anastasia Auguste, Janelle Baldeo, Chantal Baldeo, Rachel Bali, Varna Bipath, Kendall Bajan, Chanel Bisoun, Fondanelle Bodhi, Esther Bovril, Adrian Bowen, Nicarcia Braffith, Jada Brereton, Moisha Bruce, Vanessa Bodraj, Omari Celestin, Lyanne Charles, Samantha Chevalier, JL Clark, Kristen Clark, Jonathan Clavery, Romario Cumberbatch, Taveen Cyrus Tyson, Zaria Lee Darlington. With first class honors, Stefan David. With first class honors, Rona Maya Dionanan, Amir De Silva, Luan Diaz, Shamilia Dixon, Kelly Ann Donawa, Avisha Dookie, Karan Eddy. With first class honors, Camilla Edwards, Carl Edwards, Sarah Edwards, Cassie Elborn, Chelsea Elwin. With first class honors, Genial Flamius, Micah Gaston, Tia Gayadeen Maharaj, Keegan George, Danielle Gomez, Raheem Goring. With first class honors, Charlene Hamlin McSween, Jardina Harding, Renicia Herrera, Maxizine Howell Paul, Nora Innocent George, Anissa Jackson, Jabari Jacob, Junior Jacobs, Dylan Jawahir, Eden John, Mark John, Kenisha John, Saif John, Anne-Marie Joseph, Mariah Joseph, Tennille Julian Ferrier, Karishma Kanai, Arista Katwaru, Hermes Kent, Jashobim King, Anushka Lala Postum,
Montfort Lardner. With first class honors, Nathan Laveau, Tracy Lemech. With first class honors, Vicky Lee. With first class honors, Elisha Leon, Tia Liverpool, Daniela Lopez, Sophia Lewis, John David Love, Ravi Lachman, Nico Maharaj, Charlene McSween, Cassiana McKenna, Janisha McKenzie, Joel Mitchell, Alyssa Muhammad, Carleen Muhammad, Kareem Muhammad. With first class honors, Larissa Muhammad. With first class honors, Chrissy Moores, Melissa Moses, Anup Motiram, Amira Naimul, Natasha Narayan Singh, Nicholas O'Brien, Shaquana Osorio, Chitra Parag, Indira Patel. With first class honors, La Quinta Peniston. With first class honors, Nuame Perez. With first class honors, Karina Basad, Dylan Pierre, Iola Prieto, Savannah Ray Kwamina, Royan Kwashi, Amrit Ragbeer, Anjani Rambox. With first class honors, Ajay Rameshwar Singh, Justin Ramkisu, Kirsten Ramkisu, Brandon Ramlal, Dwayne Rampasad, Denison Ravello. With first class honors, Sabrina Reyes, Chevelle Richards, Onika Roberts, Zakiya Robertson, Danielle Rollocks, Sridevi Rupnarai, Isabel Rosario del Rosario, with first class honors, Shara Setan, Kevin Surrett, Ariana Sunarai, Kerry-Ann Shaw, with first class honors, Elizabeth Simmons, Hannah Marie Singh, Vanessa Sukram, Katharina Subasi, Daniela Tennyson, Kendall Theodore, Kellyanne Thomas, Vanessa Vincent, Carice Waldron, Isaiah Waltz, Jolene Wheeler, Sarah Wildman, Amanda Paul, with distinction, Yael Williams, with distinction, Shalom Jeffers.
I now call upon Mr. Richard Ronald Benedict Ali, Bachelor of Science, Human Ecology Specialization, Nutritional Sciences major, with first-class honors, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Chair, Campus Council, Ms. Sharon Christopher, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Brian Copeland, honorary graduates, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates, distinguished guests, good day. It is a fundamental truth that we must make mistakes in order to succeed. If it weren't for the mistakes I made in my life, I would not be here delivering this message to you. All of my transgressions and bad decisions, coupled with the good ones, and under the direction of God, have brought me to this moment. I remembered my darkest hour. My mother said to me with the utmost confidence, "Son, you will have your time to shine." Class of 2020, your journey to this moment was not an easy one. Some of us may have failed a course or two or three, and we had no choice but to restart and try again. Well, the next phase of our lives is expected to be no different. Mistakes, failures, and disappointments are inevitable, but what we do afterwards is what truly matters. According to Brutus and Julius Caesar, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. This quote is a very powerful metaphor, telling us that we must seize the opportunities when they come, and not look back at those that we will have missed. The University of the West Indies has provided us with the training, and God has given us the talents to give back not to ourselves, but to our community, nation, and by extension, generations to come. A few days ago, I was having a conversation with a contractor who boasted about all of the government contracts he has procured to erect public housing. I asked him, "When was the last time you went to the primary or secondary school that you attended as a boy?" and asked the principal what he or she needed to improve the environment for the next generation. Well, I hope that my question stirred some introspection into that gentleman's life. The point I'm trying to make is that our skills should not be used to benefit us, but instead to help develop our nation. Graduates, your success to come should not be about you. It should be about improving the lives of others who are not as fortunate, but possess the same potential to be successful. I recall a central doctrine in our Caribbean civilization course, that we continue to suffer from an acute deficit in genuine leadership. Leadership is not about following. Instead, it requires courage, the courage to stand up against the perpetual mistakes and flaws in governance that have resulted in the current social unrest in our nation. Class of 2020, we are now all leaders in our own right, and may God provide us with the courage to implement changes that will steer our country into a future defined by equality and a less stratified society. If many years from now our economy is still not diversified, then we will have failed. If many years from now our brightest still continue to migrate and develop other nations, then we will have failed. If many years from now our country still continues to import the majority of its food, then we will have failed. Class of 2020, let us hold ourselves responsible for the fate of our nation and our Caribbean. There is a conservation biologist amongst us who will save a species of plant that will hold the key to reversing Alzheimer's disease. Will that person be you? There is an environmentalist amongst us who will find a way to save our coral reefs. Will that person be you? There is an agriculturalist amongst us who will invent a cultivar of rice containing all of the essential amino acids. Ask yourself, will that person be me? Eventually, we all revert to our physical fundamental elements. At your funeral, nobody will talk about the size of home you lived in or the type of cars you owned. They will talk about the impact you had on their lives and what you did to change the world. It's a beautiful paradox, isn't it? Only when that sepulchral transition arrives do we fully understand how we should have lived. I would like to share with you a quote from one of my most favorite poems, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. It says, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Graduates, in your journey of life, I recommend that you take the road less traveled. Many, many years from now, sitting in your hammock with the golden sun at dusk smiling over your back, and every wrinkle on your beautiful face representing a triumph in your life, may you bask in peace and contentment, knowing that your shortcomings, transgressions, and victories were all worth it, and that your brave and selfless actions in life will resonate forever into the future of our nation. May God bless the class of 2020, the University of the West Indies, and future graduates. Thank you.
Sir, I now call on Professor Stephen Gift, Pro Vice Chancellor, Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you members of our society for the award of high degrees of this university.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been awarded postgraduate certificates, diplomas, and have been admitted to master's degrees, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called master's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, and certificates of this university, and recognize their advancement in our society.
John Paul Alvarez. With distinction, Anastasia Chandra. With distinction, Rose Charles. Jameson Cooper. Gabriela Fernandez. Terrell Gittins. Darian Jones. Romeko Lanferman. With distinction, Samantha Ramnarain. With distinction, Shara Silal. With distinction, Satish Singh. Makeda Warner. With distinction, Nadira Nanlal. Sarala Balkaran. With distinction, Madhavi Dukhi. With distinction, Nirvan Sharma. Jeanette Pascal. Judith Balkissoon. Chandra Rajaram. With distinction, Hassan Shah. Joy Alfred. Derissa Maturin. With distinction, Navin Dukaram. Laurie Selby. Veronica John Luke. Nathan Maharaj. With high commendation, Janice Germain. Elizabeth Bullock.
Shellyan Charles. With distinction, Dwayne Harris. With distinction, Shane Sankar. Keegan Slinger. Sharice Wolf. Angelisa Khan. With distinction, Shelly-Ann Mohammed. With distinction, Kyla Noons. Debon Simelos.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
Shobha Danpat. Shana K. Ming. Salis Sultan. With high commendation, Jamin Atkins. Rabindra Ramjatan. Dudnath Prasad. With high commendation, Mikal Kameho.
Melissa Atwell. Christine Bocage. Melissa Williams.
I now call on Mr. Jerry Medford, the UWI Alumni Association Trinidad and Tobago Chapter, to join the graduates in reciting the Alumni Pledge.
Thank you, Council Chair. Members of the graduating class of 2020, on behalf of the UWI Alumni Association Trinidad and Tobago Chapter, I extend congratulations to you on your successful transition from matriculation to graduation. May you continue to make us all proud as you pursue your careers with pelican pride. And now, the Alumni Pledge. As a graduate of the University of the West Indies,
I commit myself to uphold the ideals and goals of my alma mater.
My conduct and voice shall reflect the commitment to excellence
of the light rising from the West.
as I fulfill my social and professional responsibility and serve my community and region.
I will strive to ensure the UWI as a Caribbean,
the catalyst of Caribbean development and leadership.
It is a legacy that I will proudly help build for future generations.
The University of the West Indies,
first in our hearts and first in our region.
This brings to a close the public ceremony by which the University of the West Indies has signalized the award of degrees, diplomas, and certificates to its graduates. Congratulations to the class of 2020.